Welcome back to Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm really pleased to have with me for the first time Brooke Macdonald. He's the president and CEO of Cornerstone Capital Resources. And also, I understand, joining us is Yvonne Crepeau, who is the vice president of explorations for Cornerstone Capital. Welcome, Brooke. It's good to talk to you today.
Thank you very much, Jay. It's nice to be on the program.
Really good to have you with me now. Just to make sure I've got these numbers correct, I've got you about 190 million shares outstanding, and I saw the stock price earlier today was around 5 cents. Does that sound right?
Yes, it's around 5 cents. We were at 9 cents around September 15th. It's come off a little bit since then.
Well, it's been a bludgeoned market, to say the least, and the little mining companies are really having a struggle these days. But at the same time, we know, and as a guy who's been around the track many times in the past, that it's times like these when if you can find the real gems, the companies that really have something going for them, that you can do extremely well. So what I'd like to do is explore what you have going for you in Ecuador and Chile, primarily Ecuador right now. Now you are following a prospect generator model, I believe, primarily in Ecuador and Chile. How many properties do you have now between those two countries?
We have 7 properties. We have 3 100% owned properties in Ecuador, Vedas Grandes, Bella Maria, and Caña Brava. And we have one 100% owned property in Chile, Miocene. And we have one joint venture with Australian AIM-listed SolGold, which is the Cascabel joint venture. That is the one we've gotten all the attention about because of the discovery hole we had earlier this year. And we have a joint venture with Newmont in the south, a strategic alliance. Mm-hmm. And also the La Encrucijada project, which is another project with SolGold in the same joint venture.
Okay, so the reason you've gotten so much attention on the Cascabel is because you've had some very, very attractive drill holes, to say the least. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the longest, deepest drill hole that was ever drilled in Ecuador, you guys have drilled. Is that right?
That's correct. It was the deepest hard rock diamond drill hole in Ecuador in history, and that was our discovery hole 5. This is a property that we took from really a stream sediment sample to fully permitted for drilling with an environmental license in 22 months. The deepest hole was hole 7. We have drilled 8 holes. We have assay results back for 7. The results for hole 8 should come back this week, and probably we may have a news release out with those results Monday or Tuesday. Hole 7 was 1,672 meters, which is, I think, over 2.5 times the height of the CNN Tower in Toronto. 3 times. Hole 5 was the discovery hole, which returned assays of over 1,300 meters at better than 0.6% copper and better than 0.5 gram per ton gold, with an included intercept of almost 600 meters at around 1% copper and 1 gram per ton gold. Mm-hmm. Hole 7 was almost a kilometer of about 0.5 gram per ton, 0.5 gram percent copper equivalent, about 0.4% copper and the rest gold.
Yeah, well, for people who follow the mining industry, these are phenomenal holes, to say the least. And you've had others as well. And I would like maybe to perhaps just ask Yvonne a little bit about the dimensions based on the holes that have been drilled so far. Could he possibly give us an idea of what the dimensions of the mineralization are at this point in time? And I don't know if it's possible yet, probably not enough drill holes and enough data points yet to determine what average grades are, but could Yvonne talk about that perhaps?
Hello, Jay. Okay, yes,
yeah,
we can talk about it. Okay, but there's some limitations. There are some limitations in what we can say.
Sure.
Unfortunately, there are insufficient data points. Okay, to even guess the dimension of a possible resource. Okay, we need to do some more drilling. Like Brooke just said. Okay, we now have 8 drill holes on this target. Okay, we have as results for the first 7th hole, and the intersections, okay, we're in the range, okay, in between 0.5 and 1%, okay, copper in hole number 5, okay, 7 in the range of 0.5% copper, okay, and at this stage, we just cannot say, okay, what could be a possible resource. That should be done, okay, that could be done, okay, if we keep drilling the area, okay, another maybe 10, 15 holes, okay, maybe 12 to 18 months from now, okay, there should be sufficient information, okay, to make a resource calculation, a resource estimate. Yep.
Yeah. Well, so 12 to 18 months is sort of the time frame that you're looking at. What about metallurgy? Has there been any metallurgical work done so far on this material?
Yeah, there has been some metallurgical work and preliminary work, of course. Okay, and everything was very clean. Okay, this is very encouraging. We're going to need to do some more work, of course. Okay, but first results, okay, indicate that. This is metallurgy. There's no major problem. Okay, metallurgy, everything looks very good at this stage.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about the infrastructure at the Cascabel?
Yeah, the Cascabel, people, may think that Ecuador is in the middle of nowhere, which is not the case, the Ecuador government, invested, several billions of dollars the last seven years, building, new infrastructures regarding Cascabel, this property, can be reached, by 6-lane and 4-lane highways, from Quito to Ibarra, the capital city of the province, and then from Ibarra to Cascabel, this is a paved road directly onto the project, there are some powers, there are 8 hydropower, plants being,
that's good.
being built now, they're going to be in operation in 2017, Ecuador will be an exporter of electricity, by then. There's a major port, called in the city of Esmeraldas. This is about 200 kilometers from Cascabel, downhill. Downhill is important because, when you're talking about transporting your concentrates, this is from the property to the shore, this is good. There's an international airport at the Esmeraldas as well, and what I can say maybe, about drilling the property itself, we're drilling the Alpala target, this is the most, advanced, target we have, but not the only one target. They have about 4, 5, 6 other targets that needs to be drill tested, The property is 50 square kilometers, there's room, for multiple ore bodies.
Oh, for sure. So this Cascabel, you have one discovery there, but there's I think several other porphyry targets there, right? And another mineral target of some sort there.
Exactly. We do have several porphyry targets, and we do have an epithermal target as well.
Yeah. Just wondering if Brooke could join me again to have a question about to do with the partners and some business questions. Brooke, are you there?
Yes, I'm back, Jay. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask you, with respect to your partner on this Cascabel project, the Australian partner, talk to us a little bit about them. Are they well-funded, and what is the arrangement that you have with them? What do they have to spend to earn how much of the project?
Well, they have earned an 85% interest in the project. We have a 15% interest, but we are financed all the way through a bankable feasibility study. So they are funding 100% of the exploration. So although it's a 15% interest, it is completely financed by the other partner. And if Cascabel turns out to be as large and as rich as we think it may be, because the alteration footprint at surface is similar in size to some of the large copper porphyry deposits in the world, like Tujuh Bukit in Indonesia, then we think we have something that could add quite a bit of market cap to the company in the coming years. SalGold is headed up by an Australian geologist named Nick Mather, who is the chairman of the company, and Nick Mather has been involved in some other projects before. He has been quite successful, I'm told, and he seems to have a deep network of contacts in London. They will have to go back to the market at some point to raise additional money, and we're really not privy to that kind of information at this point because they're keeping it kind of close to their chest. Being on AIM, they only have to release their annual financial information like 6 months. We have to release ours quarterly, as you know, on the TSXV.
Sure.
But I have every confidence that the management team at SalGold will be able to raise whatever's necessary, especially with these results, to continue the drilling.
Well, I really like that idea that you don't have to go out and raise money to keep your 15%, because 15% of something that could be very, very large could be very, very meaningful for a company that's selling at 5 cents a share right now. But I want to ask you, when there are only a couple of minutes left here yet, you have a lot of other properties too. I want to ask you, first of all, how is the Cornerstone treasury right now?
We, at June 30th, which is the last published information, we had about $4.2 million in treasury, which included about $500,000 worth of shares. I would say now we probably have about $3.2 million in cash and another $500,000 in shares. We're at our rates, being careful with the money and having Cascabel funded by the partner. I think we're in good shape for another 2 years before we need to go back to the market.
Okay, that's good to know, because this is a horrible market to go back to try to raise capital in. Could you talk to us within the last minute or so that we have here? Just give us an overview of some of the other properties. Are there any others that you're really sort of keen to do at least a little bit of work while you try to preserve capital?
Yeah, we have an epithermal gold-silver deposit called Vetas Grandes, which is about 12 or 14 kilometers west of the old IM Gold Kimsa-Kocha deposit. That is one that we are currently doing a stakeholder map in order to complete community consultations, which is a condition to receiving an environmental license, which gives you the right to drill. We believe that that property could contain upwards of 1 million ounces of gold in an epithermal setting. It has some very high bonanza-type grades at surface. And we also have 2 other properties. One is Bella Maria, which shows excellent potential to host significant porphyry and structurally controlled gold and copper mineralization, and another property called Caña Brava, which hosts 2 large epithermal gold-silver zones. But before we go, I'd just like to say one thing for the audience, Jay, because I know that Ecuador has gotten a bad rap in the past years because of the mining moratorium in 5 years ago. I think people should be aware that in the past year you've had 2 people that have had a lot of success as first movers into places where it has been a little difficult to operate, and one is Vancouver mining promoter Ross Beatty, who earlier this year bought most of the shares of Odin Mining, and they have the Greater Cangrejos gold property right next to our Bella Maria property. And most recently, in the last month, the Lundin Group, through Fortress Metals, acquired the Fruta del Norte project from Kinross. And the other thing, the last point I'd like to make is that earlier this year, the government, President Rafael Correa, acknowledged publicly that the government had gotten it wrong, that they had not understood properly how the rules should be in order to make the sector competitive, and that they had hired the international consulting company Wood Mackenzie to make recommendations. Wood Mackenzie compared Ecuador's total tax take with a comparator group of 5 countries: Mexico, Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Brazil. And Ecuador came out with a higher tax take. They've made detailed recommendations to the government on how to bring that down. There are also other operating advantages in Ecuador, such as there's plenty of water in Ecuador, unlike Chile, where some place you have to pipe it in. There is also excellent infrastructure, and the cost of power is about 6 cents a kilowatt hour, and there's some discussion of lowering it to 4 cents a kilowatt hour for mining companies. And we don't know where all the dust is going to settle yet on the mining rules, but it's likely that the Ecuadorian government will make a roll out of those rules probably in time for the PDAC convention in Toronto. So we think Ecuador's a turnaround situation, and we think people should take another look at it.
Yeah, well, that is very encouraging to hear the likes of the Lundin family and Ross Beatty going down there for sure. I think they must have some confidence. They're really smart mining guys. So I think that's very good news. I'm glad you brought that up. The political situation is always of major concern, of course, to in any country you're operating in. So I want to thank you very much. I'm sorry we're out of time. We could go on, but we'll have to do it again sometime in the near future.
Well, thank you very much
for being with me today, and thanks also to your colleague, Ivan.
Okay. Thank you very much.